Hi, welcome to the Nog Vlog. My name is Lance. We're going to do a full walking tour of the Carnival Celebration. It's a brand new ship for Carnival Cruise Line. We're going to go deck by deck, show you everything that the ship has to offer. If you like this video, you find it informative, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and come take a trip with us. We always begin our ship tours at the very top of the ship, as high as you can go. And on this ship is an exclusive area known as Loft 19. You'll find this on deck 19 in the forward part of the ship. And access to this area is for those that purchase a cabana for either a day pass or for the entire sailing, or to guests staying in one of the more exclusive Excel class cabins. So this sits just above the Serenity adult only retreat area down below on deck 18. This wraps around the front part of the ship, and this area does have a small pool. We'll take a look at it when we wrap around the other side. I'll share more details about the cabanas in just a moment, but if you're new to the channel, I want to explain how we do our ship tours. The map in the bottom left will change as we traverse the ship, and the navigation icon will follow us wherever we go. This is the only ship tour you'll find that has real-time GPS navigation. So here are three more of the cabanas that are available. These probably have the best view. You can see right down to the central area of the Serenity deck. I mentioned earlier that Excel class cabins have access to Loft 19. You do get priority booking of the cabanas if you are in one of those staterooms. And as we loop around, you'll see up here at the front of the ship some commemorative plaques placed by the shipyard Meyer Turku that built the ship here in 2022. So let's take a peek at the pool available to guests here at Loft 19. I guess you could call it an infinity pool. Obviously, they've got to have the glass pretty high for safety purposes, but you can see through that glass from down below. Kind of a cool, hey, look at me, I'm up in Loft 19 and you aren't aspect. You've also got a shower available for rinsing off, because again, all the pools on the ship are saltwater pools. Definitely not a swimmer's pool, more for lounging. Does have some jets. So let's take a look inside one of the cabanas so you can get a perspective from in here. Now these are made for 5 guests, and they do include free lunch delivery, chilled towels, free frozen refreshers, 0 proof of course. You get a bucket of ice and 6 bottles of water, a bottle of sparkling wine, fresh fruit, you get bathrobes, of course you get full bar service, and a dedicated cabana attendant to help bring you all of these things. I believe for a day it's somewhere around $650. For the week, I believe the cost is $2,000 or so. Sometimes they offer discounts if they haven't sold them as they get closer to the cruise, so check your email, they might offer those out. In my opinion, that's just too much to pay for what you're getting here. There is plenty of room on this ship. As you'll see as we go down through some of the other decks, there's a lot of open space to find and relax and have that quiet time. You don't have to spend an outrageous amount of money to get one of these cabanas. And as we conclude the tour up here, you can see there is an elevator to provide that ADA compliant access to Loft 19. We'll start our view of deck 18 in the middle of the ship with a view down into the Lido deck area and all the activities going on there. This section of the ship has tons of lounging space. This area with all these loungers is open to all guests. We're not yet in the Serenity adult only retreat. We'll say hello to the Disney Wish next door to us here in beautiful Nassau. Again, tons of loungers on both sides of the ship here. And here we actually have the true entry to the Serenity Adults Only Retreat. Again, 21 and up, a little bit quieter lounging space. You won't have the music blaring. You won't have kids running around. Nice place to relax. There's a whirlpool on either side near the entrance of Serenity. Through these doors, you can get to the forward elevators and stairwell. You can check out a towel from Serenity area. Those are yellow, as you can see. Just make sure you return them so you're not charged $22 after your cruise. We'll view this middle section in just a moment. We'll go around so you can see all the types of lounging options that you have here on the Serenity deck. You've got the classic loungers. You can see they've got these larger beds, which are nice to stretch fully out on with your loved one. As we head more forward, again, lots of loungers. These here, we were not quite sure what to call them. They're not clamshells. They don't have that full back like a clamshell has. My wife and I went back and forth trying to pick a name for these. We went through sand dollars. I think we call them scallops. Maybe that's what we settled on. Let us know in the comments if you got any other creative names for these, because they're definitely not clamshells. One thing to note about this Serenity deck, different from other Carnival ships that we've been on, when we hung out here on a sea day cruising through the Caribbean, there was practically no wind to be felt. You didn't have to worry about your hair blowing. Well, I didn't have to worry about that. But I didn't have to worry about my hat blowing off. It was quite a change of pace from normal sea days on Serenity when that wind can really whip around. Definitely props to the engineers on creating a very wind resistant Serenity area here on the forward part of deck 18. As promised, this central pool area for Serenity deck is quite unique. You've got a pool, again, adults only. You've got this sunken seating area to enjoy one of your beverages that you might get from the Serenity bar, or maybe a custom salad from the Fresh Creation Salad Bar, which is open during lunchtime on port and sea days. So symmetrical to the starboard side, this port side has the whirlpool and the exit out back to the regular area. You can see here the stairs that access Loft 19, which we just saw, and you can see if there's cabanas open or not from this placard. Through these doors is the forward elevator and stairs, as I mentioned. Also that elevator up to Loft 19 as well. So back outside, we'll take this exit from Serenity and head towards the back of the ship. So while the adults have the Serenity section here in the front of the ship, this back section, known as the Ultimate Playground, is for the kids, although plenty of grown-ups will be playing around here too. We're going to skip right over the Lido and head to this staircase, and that's where we'll start our tour of the back of Deck 18 and the Ultimate Playground. So there is a ton of things going on this part of the ship as kids fly over our heads. We'll start with the ropes course. To access that, you just need to be 48 inches tall. You have to have on a shirt with sleeves, closed-toed shoes, and you can't be wet from like the pool or water slides. You'll head up these stairs, they'll rig you up with a harness, and you'll get in line. You get to pick your path as you go along, and one of the options is to take this zipline-esque route here on the starboard side of the ship. Now all this happens right above the sports court. So in addition to basketball, they have soccer goals. Pickleball is available on this ship, and they do have a set time for a dodgeball tournament as well. So one of the main features of the Ultimate Playground is the Bolt roller coaster at sea. We'll take a look at that as we loop around, but you can see that surrounds the entire aft section of Deck 18. We'll keep heading back on this jogging track. It's a more narrow jogging track than you might be used to on other Carnival ships. 7 laps equal 1 mile for this jogging track. You'll see the women's restroom here on the port side as we encounter the Carnival Waterworks. This is comprised of 4 water slides and a smaller kids splash area. You'll notice the Bolt cars going around above us have no passengers on them. They were doing some testing because just before I started filming here, one of the passengers actually got stuck. It happens from time to time. I think it has to do with the passenger not really hitting the accelerator as hard as they need to. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Just under this initial loop of the Bolt roller coaster is the 9-hole mini golf course. You can just grab a club, grab a ball, and play away. Here you can see the stairs taking you up to the water slide entrance. And then we've got the stairs for the bolt entrance. There's a mock car for you to sit on and take photos. Looks like they're adding in some backgrounds for that. We did get to try Bolt when we were in port in Amber Cove, Dominican Republic. It was fun. It does cost $15. You get to go around 2 times. I would like to see them either lower the cost to maybe $5 or $10 for the same experience, or conversely give you more opportunities to ride in that 30-minute window or that particular day. Something like that for that cost. Just needs a little bit more. So above us is the plank that you can walk on as part of the options for the rope course. We'll see more of that when we're down on deck 17 below, which you can take these stairs down to get to. Over here to the left, you see table tennis, cornhole available. We got some water fountains available as well. Circle around and you'll see the diagram showing you where everything is on the Ultimate Playground. Inside these doors is the elevator shaft for the midship elevators. Only the 2 elevators closest to the pool take you up to deck 18. All the rest max out at 17. So keep that in mind. Just might take a little bit longer to get up and down using the elevators to deck 18 midship. So for deck 17, we'll start at the bottom of the stairs just past where we skipped over to the Ultimate Playground earlier. Lots of loungers out here. Plenty of space. Even some beds available. You'll notice this wall back behind here. There is not an entrance to the forward staterooms that begin on deck 17. So if you're thinking about booking a room in 17 forward, know that you have to take the stairs or elevator up to Serenity or down to the Lido to be able to get outside. Just something unique that you might not notice just looking at a deck plan. These stairs will take you down to the Lido deck. Above us is the largest screen I've ever seen on a cruise ship. They call this the Carnival Seaside Theater. They play movies in the daytime and at night. During deck parties, they'll have live cameras panning through the passengers, enjoying the festivities. And depending on the time of your sailing, they'll show sporting events that are going on as well. So now we're entering the Red Frog Tiki Bar. There's some stairs to take you down to the bottom deck. It is 2 levels. The upper level has some tables and chairs. If you can snag one of these, you have a great view to the DJ booth where the cruise director also hangs out for deck parties. Just a great view if you can get one of these chairs. They do have TVs that either show specials going on or, again, sporting events if those happen to be going on. Again, you can see the stairs that take you down to the level below. You've got some restrooms available over here to the side. And through those doors are the midship elevator and stairs. We'll round the corner over to Flavor Town. I think everyone knows what that reference is. These stairs again take you up to deck 18 for the Ultimate Playground. And if you didn't know what I was referencing, this is Guy Fieri's Burger Joint. Extra large version of this restaurant on this ship. This popular burger joint will be open on every day of your sailing from noon to 6 p.m., delivering hot and fresh cheeseburgers. Lots of different options and toppings to customize it just the way you like it. If you saw this line, it would probably take you about 10 or 15 minutes. And right next to Guy's Burgers is Club O2. Now this is the kids club for ages 15, 16, and 17. We'll step inside and do a quick tour. Tons of things to do in here. You've got PS5s available. Some sweet booths and cubbies to hang out at. There's a jukebox in here. You even have a couple guitars for kids to play. And through these doors, there's an outside area that can be accessed as well. Skipping back to the dining area for Guy's Burger Joint, we'll head inside the doors, past the midship elevator and stairs, and over to a couple other venues for kids to enjoy. While we make our way across, I would like to take this time to remind you to please hit that like button if you find this video informative, and leave us a comment down below if you have any questions about this ship. So over here you've got the Circle C Kids Club and the Warehouse Arcade. Circle C Kids Club is for ages 12, 13, and 14. Let's take a look inside. Nice big screen TV. So they got their Build-A-Bear workshop stations under wraps, ready to go. Neat little arts and crafts center. Similar to Club O2, they've got tons of seating options, video games galore. And if that's not enough, they can check themselves right out and head over to the arcade. The very addicting but definitely rigged claw machines are right at the entrance. Got some air hockey. My daughter beat me at Find the Ball. Very sad about that. Stay away from punching bag machines. They lead to scars on your forehead if combined with Fireball. A lot of the classics that are normally seen in the arcades on the ships, but definitely some new ones in here too. I've never seen this four-wheeler game before. Charlie enjoyed that. We just came through these doors, so we'll pass up the midship elevators here. I referenced earlier on the Ultimate Playground, this last set of elevators are the only ones that go up to deck 18. These first three stop at 17 where we are. 18 is only accessible through these two elevators. So we'll pass up the Lido area and swing around the starboard side of the ship. See stairs up to deck 18. And here we see on the ropes course above a girl walking the plank. This is the option on the ropes course on the starboard side to test just how daring you want to be. Sorry, I did not partake myself, but if you do want to be daring, when you do it, you can lean all the way out like this gentleman for the awesome photo opportunity. As we swing towards the aft of the ship, we encounter one of the few smoking sections on the ship, and again, tons of space back here. Turn the corner again, seats galore, plenty of seating on this ship. These stairs will take you up to the Ultimate Playground. So whenever I'm in the back of a ship, whatever the deck, I like to take a peek at what's down below. So I did that here on this ship tour, and I just noticed everyone is staring up at me. I can't be that popular. Side note, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But I realized it was because someone was stuck. This is what I referenced earlier. This guy's just shaking his head like, what did I pay $15 for? So they'll just ease him on back to the station. I'm sure they'll give him a refund, let him go again if he wants to. But he'll have a great story for after the cruise. So we'll conclude deck 17 with, you guessed it, more loungers. You can see this area here is that outdoor area of Club O2. Next up, we'll start at the forward elevators of deck 16, the Lido deck. The forward section of deck 16 is all staterooms. Same goes for deck 17 above. Note, this is one of the many locations where you can pick up a luggage tag for your bags on the last day of your cruise if you are not carrying them off on disembarkation day. I'll be pointing those out as we continue down the rest of the decks. Heading out the doors to the Lido area, you see a large whirlpool and a really big swimming pool, one of the biggest pools I've ever seen on a cruise ship. Lots to check out here. We'll start on our left with the Seafood Shack. Now this is an at-cost restaurant with seafood specialties. And then you have the 3 booths for street eats. Each of these will have a different menu item each day. First you have Time Fries, serving up different French fry concoctions. Next up is Steam Dream, offering a variety of dumplings and similar items. And finally is Mad Sizzle, serving stir-fry specialties. This ended up being one of our favorite places to stop in the mid-afternoon just to grab something, either bridging a late brunch into dinner or even just being part of our lunch. We're going to head back to the other side and see the Blue Iguana Cantina. This is a staple on most Carnival ships now, serving up burritos and tacos, both for breakfast and lunch. On the way, we'll see these stairs, take you up to deck 17, of course. Burrito line on the left, taco line on the right. Burrito line always seems to be a little bit longer. Whatever you end up choosing, you can visit the salsa bar to spice it up. So as we pass all the seating options to enjoy your lunch, we'll encounter the bottom level of the Red Frog Tiki Bar. Again, screens down here to be able to watch some sports. I will say, I think we struck out on the few drinks we tried from the Tiki Bar menu, but that might just be because I'm so used to some of my favorites from the Red Frog Rum Bar. Be sure to check out our video on all the drinks myself and Brandy, hi there, had on this sailing. If you didn't bring your towel from your stateroom, you can grab one here from the towel hut, same as above. Make sure you return it so you don't get dinged. We'll head further aft on the ship, pass up some bathrooms here on the Lido, and into the Lido Marketplace. This is the buffet for the ship. If you take a right here, you'll encounter the midship elevator and stairs. These 2 serving stations here will have the main food options for you. So there's a pair of them over here. Caddy corner on the aft of the ship is another pair. You got drink stations as well. Through this quarter, you've got some additional options. You've got shawarma for Middle Eastern fare. You got 2 different flavors of gelato each day here, plus 3 different types of cakes for dessert. You have additional dessert on the back side as well as pastries. You've got a salad bar, and just off to my left here is the Sea Dog station, which you can get different hot dog options. So we'll head back and around and show you the back of the Lido Marketplace. Depending on the time of day, they might have all 4 lines open. Here they just have 2 of the serving lines open. Again, it's the same food on either side. They do have a carving station as well for a rotating protein option. As we turn the corner, I want to point out how much I love the atmosphere, the booths, the seating options here. Very bright, very welcoming. And look how wide this hallway is. If you've cruised on Carnival before on their previous classes of ships, you know they squeeze every inch they can out of some of the spaces, so it can get quite congested. But no problem with that here. This Sea Dog place is open. Hello, hello. During breakfast time, these will change to omelet stations. And again, everything mirrored to the midship section here in the aft. It's just on the opposite side of the ship. Before we head out to the tides pool area, let me peek over and show you the aft elevator bank and stairwell. And you can also get to the tides pool through here. We're going to go back and go through the door we were about to go out of because that's where the entrance to Shaq's Big Chicken is. And I love, love, love this restaurant. You got a hand washing station for when you enter and leave the Lido Marketplace. Very convenient. So the tides pool is the main centerpiece here in the back of the ship. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But I alluded to Shaq's Big Chicken, whether it's breakfast, whether it's lunch, whether it's their fries. It was all so delicious, and we had to keep going back for more. You could sauce it up, get some sides, get a drink, all conveniently located right here. One of my favorites, for sure. So stairs up to deck 17. This tide's pool has 2 whirlpools next to it. A very popular place. Infinity style pool, of course. Very common on this ship. Lots of loungers available as well. We stayed on deck 9, so we didn't actually come out here to enjoy this particular pool, but you can see it's a very popular place. Here you can see the Tides Bar. Even though we didn't enjoy the pool out here, we did visit this bar a couple times, had great service, there was never a wait, and one of the mini swirl stations where you can grab your frozen yogurt or ice cream. If we were ever to sail on this ship again, we would definitely consider booking something close to this area. Lots of fun to be had back here. So that concludes deck 16. We're going to skip 15, 14, there's no 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, all staterooms only. Don't need to see that as part of the ship tour. That leaves us down on deck 8, and we're actually going to start at the Havana pool area. So this outside area is only available to guests staying in a Havana stateroom. Previously on the Vista class ships, this was in the back of deck 5. Here on the Excel class ships, which is the Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, and soon to be Carnival Jubilee, this is located on the starboard side of deck 8, which makes the pool location very unique. It is rather small, but the fact that you got this infinity style here on the side of the ship, I think that's pretty neat. I bet a lot of people enjoy that do stay back here. So you saw the loungers, the towel area. The bar consists of this outside area. Inside is the Havana bar, which is actually open to all guests. But this outside area, again, exclusive for those folks staying in the Havana cabins. The Havana cabins do take up the entire front side of the ship. These here on the outside are considered balconies. You have a little bit extra space, extra loungers. And they also have inside cabins as well. Again, Havana guests only. Don't tell anybody I snuck out there. So through these doors is that Havana bar that I mentioned. We'll actually tour that in just a moment. You can see the Havana staterooms can be accessed through here or through this other side, and that loops around the entire forward section of the ship. So I like to do my tours from front of the ship to the back of the ship. Decks 8, 7, and 6, the way they design them don't make it very easy for a ship tour to do that. I'll try to keep the flow as forward to aft as possible, but it will require us to have to skip around just based on how they built this ship. So the first restaurant we'll encounter after we pass the forward elevator and stair bank is Shebang. This is currently included in your cruise fare, so at no cost to you, you could eat here instead of the main dining room or the Lido marketplace. And it is a Chinese/Mexican restaurant. You might easily want to say it's a fusion restaurant, but they don't actually fuse the dishes themselves together. There's a full menu of both items. So it's not a true fusion, meaning you could pick your appetizer from the Mexican side of the menu, you could pick your entree from the Chinese side of the menu, dessert from either or. You can mix and match to your palate's delight. I think overall the concept was good, the food we had was tasty. Compared to the other dining rooms on the ship, we did have to wait the longest to get our food here at this particular restaurant. Again, not complaining about it, but just in comparison's sake, it's good for you to know as part of this ship tour. So this is the main entrance to the Havana bar, and compared to the Havana bar that's on the Vista class of ships, we definitely like this one better. It's bigger, they put a stage up against the wall rather right in the middle of the venue, which to us just always felt cluttered. You'll find live music going on in here, as well as karaoke is held here. We came through this door a while ago. Again, this is one of the 2 entrances to the Havana pool outside area. Again, that is for passengers staying in the Havana staterooms only. And this is the other entrance to that pool area. This is where we actually started our tour of Deck 8. With that, we'll say adios to the Havana area of the ship, and we'll enter Celebration Central. Now, Carnival promotes this ship as having 6 zones. We already saw the Ultimate Playground and the Lido as the 2 outside upper deck zones. The rest will be encountered as we go through these next 3 decks. Real quick, we see a dream studio. This is where you and your family can get personal portraits with a professional photographer. We'll cross over this glass bridge, very unique to walk on for the first time, and we'll peek down to the beautiful Aquaria bar that's actually located on deck 7. And behind us, looking over the glass edge, is Center Stage. Now, this will be the home of many entertainment activities, including musical acts, playlist productions, game shows, lots of things going on here. These stairs will take you down to deck 7 in the casino. On the opposite side, you'll encounter 2 restaurants, Bonsai Teppanyaki, which will have the chefs prepare your meal in front of you, hibachi style. They serve lunch and dinner here. Reservations can be purchased before you're sailing. I believe it's $35 for both, and the reservations go very quick, so be sure to check your cruise planner and get that booked. Right next door is Bonsai Sushi. This also is a pay restaurant, very reasonable prices, very delicious food. They actually have a small outdoor seating area in the back, and reservations are not required. You see some stairs that take you to some stadium-style seating around the center stage, but getting a good view to enjoy what's going on center stage is a very controversial topic. We'll talk about it more as we head further down. Or you can scratch your itch at the Effie Jewelry Store or the Front Street Watch Shop. These stairs will take you down to deck 7. Some different seating options up here, but if you're trying to enjoy the show, unless you're up against the glass, you're not going to have a great view. As we head lower, I'll show you the best spots to catch a show. Here you can see the midship elevator bank and stairwell. And just to the left of that is the Pixels Photo Gallery. Now this is a very large space to view all your photos. Of course, if you have the Carnival Hub app, you could view the photos taken by the photographers throughout your trip right there on your phone. You never have to visit down here, but this lets you see them a little bit bigger. You have an attendant to speak to in case you have any questions. You can simply walk up to any of the terminals, view your photos, and make purchases charged to your Sail and Sign account. Now, we just saw the elevator bank and stairwell here for the midship area. Through those doors is Cucina del Capitano Italian restaurant, but that is not the entrance. The entrance is actually just around the corner as we conclude Pixels Photo Gallery. There's also a restroom here to the right. And we get into the next zone, 820 Biscayne, which is a Miami themed zone. We've got a few venues here that we'll all go through. Got the classic Miami postcard sign to take a picture in front of. But we'll first go inside the Italian restaurant Cucina del Capitano. You'll find this on a lot of Carnival ships. This is included in your cruise fare here for the Carnival Celebration. You don't have to pay any additional fees as of 2022. But again, don't try to come in through this forward entrance. Make sure you use the true entrance here at the 820 Biscayne section. As we leave Cucina, we'll encounter Bar 820. This bar is both inside and outside. It's got seating area over here to the right. Serves Miami-themed drinks and Cuban coffee. We'll check out the outside in just a moment. But next up is Miami Slice. This is going to be your pizza venue. It's got most of the classic Carnival pizzas, but it's got a couple extra ones that are Miami-themed. You've got a drink station located here, which is convenient because you also have Deco Deli serving out sandwiches, some with Miami themes, right next door. And tying off the Miami theme, you got these cool flamingo statues atop the second glass staircase. We'll see more of the staircase as we continue down the decks. But first, we'll step into Rudy's Sea Grill. As the name suggests, you'll find mainly seafood on the menu here. And it is an additional cost. And they typically have a twist on the plating of the food, so it looks like faces. Haven't got to try this just yet, but a beautiful restaurant inside, and I've heard good things. They do have outdoor seating as well. We'll take a peek down that glass staircase since we didn't get a look at it a while ago. Again, we are here on deck 8. This spirals down to deck 7, and then further down again to deck 6. Continuing aft on deck 8, you encounter a sail inside kiosk as well as an ATM, and also the Carnival Adventures desk. This typically has always been on your deck 3 of ships in the forward section. Here they've got a little bit back here on deck 8. It's a little bit larger than in past class of ships. Of course, you can come here to set up a new excursion for your sailing. You could check on or edit a current excursion you have booked. And you can purchase some gear here for your excursion, such as snorkeling equipment, cameras, things like that. Just behind that is going to be your guest services desk. You've got queues set up for standard guests as well as platinum and diamond guests. And before I forget, I always like to show you where the stairwells and elevator banks are. This is the aft stairwell and elevator bank. Helpful to give you perspective of where we're at and where you're going. You'll also notice another luggage tag stand here, right by guest services. Just past guest services, you'll see the entrance to Summer Landing. This is the final zone for this deck. Lots of things going on here. Let's check out each one. First, we encounter the Carnival store. This is going to be your Carnival branded gear and merchandise. And it's interesting, it's grayed out on the map that you see here provided by Carnival, but you can get to the aft elevator bank through this small pathway here. This bar here is your Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse Brewhouse bar. And all these tables here are for the Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse Brewhouse restaurant. Serving barbecue. Let's check out this restaurant first before we head out all the way to the back. They've got a stage set up for bands to play at night. This is currently an evening restaurant that's included in your cruise fare. There is a drink station in the back, kind of hidden behind the bar. It could be a little bit hard to find, so just know that it's back there. They do have TVs here if you're trying to catch a sporting event. Outside, they have additional seating. They do serve lunch on sea days, and I think they serve breakfast on all days. It's just a small breakfast option similar to what you would find in the buffet upstairs, but they have it down here just to help thin out the crowd up on the Lido and just make it a little bit more convenient for folks staying around this area. Lots of seating out here in case you would enjoy your barbecue outside. We're going to head all the way forward on this outer part of the deck until we can't go any further and see what we find. So just a bit earlier, we were in Rudy's Sea Grill, and I mentioned they have outdoor seating. We're now walking past that here. Just beyond, you've got some loungers that probably very few people ever use, except this guy who probably uses it way too much. Just kidding. You got a great view of the side of the ship, and as you go a little bit further back, you do encounter the outdoor seating for, you guessed it, Cucina del Capitano. And that is where you're limited to go. Again, a few hidden spots just over here. That door is locked. So we'll head all the way back to the aft of the ship, back to Guy's Pig and Anchor, and let's go check out what else is back here. As we head to the starboard side of Deck 8 aft, you'll see they've got foosball set up, shuffleboard, and another door outside. But rounding out the inside is the Heroes Tribute Lounge. So they've got some TV set up here for sporting events as well. They snuck in a swirl station back here. But as you can see, this whole area is a nice tribute to those that have served or are currently serving in our military. So now we'll head out the aft doors here on Deck 8 into what's called the patio. And you'll see the patio pool. It has a wider, shallow rim for a few of these white loungers to keep you cool on a hot day. We've got some big comfy chairs to enjoy the aft of the ship here. Again, this is where Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse Brewhouse outside restaurant is. Let's swing around and check out the starboard side. Unlike the pool up on Deck 16, doesn't have any whirlpools next to it. However, tucked away right around the corner on the port side, there are a pair of whirlpools for you to enjoy. There's a bar out here. It's called the Watering Hole. Honestly, we were out here a lot, and we never walked by when it was open. I saw a lot of chatter about how the drinks were really good. So sad that we missed it. We'll try them next time. Looks like we've got a pair of cornhole boards over here to help pass the time. Now we're entering the seating area for Deco Deli and Miami Slice. And then this is the outside bar of Bar 820. As we enter this area, this is one of the other few smoking sections on the ship. For that reason, I'm not going to walk any further through it, but similar to the port side that we saw, once you get to the outcropping of Celebration Central, it comes to a dead end. We'll head back inside, and they have a nice double door here to help keep that smoke smell outside and not lingering indoors. We've been walking a ton, so I'm going to stop and rest, get a nice cold beer here from Bar 820. We'll meet you back at the front of the ship for the beginning of Deck 7 below. So we're in the forward stairway area. On either side is an entrance to the Grand Spectrum Theater. And you've got restrooms conveniently located right outside the doors. Now the Grand Spectrum Theater is located on both decks 7 and 6. The doors we're going through here bring you in through the back. If you're coming in from deck 6, you'll actually come around the side and back in through the front. So if you're arriving late to the show, try to come in through the back doors here on deck 7. You'll interrupt less of the show. So what's actually held here? Several of the playlist productions will take place here if they're not in center stage. Also, you'll have the Fun Ashore, Fun Aboard show with the cruise director, and I believe some game shows are here as well. So different activities, just check your Carnival Hub app for the what's happening to see what's taking place in the Grand Spectrum Theater versus the center stage. I'll show more of the theater when we tour it on deck 6. So next is the casino on the ship. It's known as the Empress Casino. It is quite large. There is a smoking section and then a non-smoking section, all on the same level. We're going to tour the casino starting where we just were, but I want to peek over here to the other side just to show you the other restrooms and the Grand Spectrum Theater entrance here on the left. So back to the other side, inside the casino here. So this is the starboard side of the casino. We're heading towards the back of the ship here. This is the smoking section of the casino. So if you were trying to avoid it, don't come to any of the machines or table games over here on this side. We're not going to go through those doors just now, but we will return to outside of those doors when we tour Celebration Central after we finish with the casino. So remember that spot. I mentioned earlier, this ship's layout is not conducive to a simple circle tour, so bear with me, but I'll do the best I can. To your left is the casino bar. It is non-smoking. You can only smoke at designated machines and table games. We'll take a quick right so you can see where the cashier desk is located at the end of this corridor. We were on the inaugural US sailing for this ship. Walked through the casino on the very final night. The line to cash out chips was all the way from that desk back here to the casino bar. Don't be forced to stand in that line. Cash out your chips a little bit earlier. So we'll navigate ourselves through the rest of the casino. These doors to your left will take you to stairs that take you up to deck 8 in Celebration Central. Or you can go out through that door and access Celebration Central here on deck 7. One single craps table on the entire ship. One day they'll add a second craps table to these ships. One day. Currently the craps minimum is $10 bets, up from $5, which has been a Carnival standard for a while, but I think several of the ships, especially the newer ones, they're going to start going $10 standards for their minimum bets. They do still have blackjack at $6 minimum bets, but it pays 6 to 5. You can see they've got 2 roulette tables. If you want the better paying 3 to 2 blackjack, you do have to put down $25 minimum bets. There's a little bit more casino through these doors. There's nothing special about this area other than it has glass view down to the Golden Jubilee bar down on deck 6. Can't wait to show you that one in a moment. Since that concludes the casino tour, we're going to teleport back to the smoking section of the casino and exit those doors. And now take a look at Celebration Central here on deck 7. So above us is that glass walkway that we talked about on deck 8, and here's the Aquaria bar. You can grab a cocktail before the show down below on center stage. Seating for these shows is at a premium, so make sure you get here early. There's the stairway down to deck 6, the door into the casino I mentioned, and the stairs up to deck 8. This seating overhangs a little bit down into the center stage area. You can see these screens move around. They can be backlit to anything that they design, creates for a great show atmosphere. Here's a quick clip from Celestial Strings, which was a very good show. Make sure you catch that one. So we already saw the casino. We'll sneak between the casino and the producer's cage here. To our right is that stadium seating and stairs up to deck 8. Even here, the views aren't all that great unless you're up against the glass. It makes for a kind of lackluster experience if you don't have a great seat, and to me, that does a disservice to the performers. It'll be interesting to see if Carnival can make any adjustments to this area on the third ship of this Excel class, the Jubilee, debuting in December of 23. We're going to pass up the casino. You see the elevator bank and stairs for the midship. Throughout this next corridor, we'll see several of the fun shops. The first here is Island Traders. Here you can find more Carnival branded gear, but some of these are specifically designed for the celebration, paying homage to Carnival's headquarters, Miami, Florida. Next up is Portside Liquor and Tobacco. And yes, they did put it on the port side. I always try to check to make sure the Portside Liquor and Tobacco shop is on the port side of the ship. One day, maybe I'll find one where they actually have it on the starboard side. So another little access to the midship stairway. You've got bathrooms here on the left. Before we head any further, I do want to show you the entrance to Limelight Lounge. Now your Limelight Lounge will be your nightclub late at night. During the evening, it is the location for comedy shows, but just the PG rated shows. Historically, PG shows and R-rated shows had to be in the same venue, so they couldn't be at the same time. So you had to wait until later in the evening before you could get to the good shows, the R-rated shows. But on this ship, because they have a separate Punchliner Comedy Club on deck 6, that we'll see in a moment, you can have one comedian doing his or her PG show at 6:45 in the evening, while the other comedian does their R-rated show at the same time. Then they could do a second set of that same show later in the evening, and then they could swap even for another time set or on another night. So you have maximum opportunity to visit all the comedians, all the shows, plus everything else that's already going on the ship. Really like how that plays out on this class of ships. Another thing I like is these screens that show what's going on that particular day. It's nice to be able to see that and be reminded about something as you're heading up the stairs or catching an elevator. So as we head further back in the ship, we'll approach the Alchemy bar. More on that in a second. There is a back entrance to the Limelight Lounge, but I think it's normally closed for entry. They do open it up, though, for exiting once the show concludes. They've got another one of the glass bridges over to this beautiful chandelier and glass stairway. Now, this is not the one we saw earlier. That was more in the aft of the ship. This one here is located midship and just connects decks 6 up to 7 here. Let's take a look at the Alchemy bar. Love this setup for this Alchemy bar. They finally got rid of those terrible bolted down spinny stools, replaced them with these much more comfortable stools, and they built it so there's a lot of them. Do yourself a favor, get you a cocktail from the Alchemy bar, and if you don't know what to order, check out our video on every single drink from their menu. We'll get a quick preview of the Gateway, one of the other 6 zones across the ship. It's a beautiful area of this ship. We'll check that out on deck 6. A little bit further back on deck 7 is Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse and the Steakhouse Bar. Love that they put the bar outside of the main venue. It was always small and hidden inside the steakhouse, and I don't think a lot of people knew about it. There are a lot of drinks on the Steakhouse Bar menu that you can't get anywhere else on the ship. Now, we didn't actually dine at the steakhouse on this sailing, but we did on our sailing right before this on the Carnival Breeze, and it was our first time trying the steakhouse too. We filmed it all. Check it out if you're interested to see some of the menu items from the steakhouse. As you exit, you can see they've got this space reserved for large parties. And across the way, you've got another Dreams studio. You can get those private portrait sessions for an additional cost. Before we enter the Festival restaurant, I'll point out the aft elevators and stairwell. There's also a small set of stairs that take you up and down between the two levels of this restaurant. So this is the Festival restaurant. This is the larger of the two main dining rooms, and this is where you will be eating if you have your time dining. You'll use the Hub app to check your party in for a table. You'll get notified when that table is ready. It will designate you to come to either Deck 7 or Deck 6 entrance to the Festival restaurant, and will give you a table number. There'll be a hostess with a tablet there to help and assist. And note, because the ship is so large, there might be a small line just for that check-in, but it goes pretty quick. So that concludes Deck 7. We'll head down to Deck 6, back to the front of the ship, and we'll start with the Cloud9 Fitness Center. You've got some water fountains to your left when you first enter, and on the right-hand side, you've got some body composition and some analysis stations. To the left, you can find some lockers and towels. And you have a row of weight machines. As well as a pretty large free weight space. Behind that, you have a long row of ellipticals, followed by a few bicycle machines and an endless number of treadmills. There's a few other machines and equipment here at the end. Then up this ramp, you've got some more water fountains and 2 studios. Looks like they are multi-purpose. You got spin class, aerobics, some free weights in there as well. Maybe even some dance classes in here. Definitely check out the spa desk to see what all they have to offer. So across from the fitness center is the Cloud9 Spa entrance. However, all of the spa facilities are actually down below on Deck 5. So we're not going to go in there just yet. Real quick, there is a second exit to the Punchliner Comedy Club. We'll see that in a moment. We're going to head forward and check out that Grand Spectrum Theater once more. This entrance, as I mentioned, takes you all the way to the front. So you have to wind through this corridor. It's only here on the starboard side of the ship. So everyone that comes through this entrance, you get to watch them hunt for a seat. So again, I recommend if you are late for a show, head in through Deck 7. A little bit more about this theater. Again, I mentioned the playlist productions here, different things put on by the cruise director. Also, they do have comedy showcases here late at night where all the comedians come together and do a set. If you attend those and sit in this front row, be prepared to be roasted. Every seat has a cup holder, nice padded chair, very comfy. The only downside to this theater is there is no drink service. There's no bar. You got to get your drink either on Deck 7 from the casino or one of the bars down below that we're about to encounter here on Deck 6. We'll head past the forward elevators. Every elevator bank has a detailed map of the ship. Very handy if you haven't watched this ship tour. But since you've watched it, you're going to know exactly where you are and how to get to where you want to go. If you want to get to the Punchliner Comedy Club, you'll head in through these doors. This will host the R-rated comedy shows in the evenings. These chairs up front, they look plush. They're not uncomfortable, but they are a little wobbly. Kind of feel a little cheap, but it looks great in here. There is no bar in here as well. However, they do have bar service. So one popular spot for photos is, of course, this huge Carnival Celebration monument artwork. I don't know what to exactly call it. Engraving. It's very beautiful. Obviously, you've got the ship coin, and oh my goodness, there's a duck on top. And I did not even see it. I was deep in ship tour filming mode. There you go. If you don't know anything about cruising ducks, we've got a few videos showing why you might want to hunt for those or hide those yourselves on your sailing. Go and check them out. Some bathrooms right out here. I pointed to these doors thinking they're the ones that you embark and disembark through in Miami, but it's actually right around the corner where those chairs are. In front of us is that center stage where all the shows are here in Celebration Central. Right here is where I recommend lining up if you want to scramble for one of the floor seats for one of the shows. And I would recommend getting there about 30 to 45 minutes before they release the seats for the show. Backtracking to the other side of the ship, we encountered the Piano Bar 88. There is a full service bar here. The pianist will be taking your request here. Lots of seating options. Not terribly big, probably just right. And you can check out the show times on your Carnival Hub app or right here on the screen outside. So depending on which way the ship is facing for embarkation and disembarkation, you might be entering or exit on these doors, but chances are it's always going to be on the other side. These stairs will take you up to Deck 7 in Celebration Central with a quick right turn into the casino. You have a small drink station over here to grab the included tea, coffee, water. This section of Java Blue Cafe offers included pastries and breakfast items and even snacks throughout the day. You don't have to wait in the specialty coffee line to be able to just go get something from over here. Lots of seating in this lobby style area. To the left here is the Tropical Bar. It's very busy as shows are about to start. This area that I'm pointing at is where I would recommend lining up to grab one of the floor seats for the show, because if you're sitting over here, you can't see things that are above you during the show. Having those floor seats lead to a really awesome experience, but you'll have to weigh with your party whether it's worth it to wait in line way earlier than the show start time. We'll take a look at the other half of the Java Blue Cafe. This is where you'll line up to get your specialty coffees. You obviously have to pay at the register for these items on the left. This grab and go cabinet will have small pre-made breakfast items that you can just pick up and go. They're all included. Right next door is the Cherry on Top candy store. Definitely small in size, especially for this size of a ship. Not sure why they downgraded from the Vista class, but it could still satisfy your sweet tooth in a pinch. There's another luggage tag pickup station here. We'll check out the Golden Jubilee Bar in just a moment. We'll cut left and admire this 1934 Rolls-Royce saloon. They brought this beauty in from its previous home aboard the Carnival Ecstasy, which just went out of commission in late 2022. Here you've got your midship elevator and stairs. Another exit for disembarkation. Take one last look at center stage area. You can see the seating down below gives you the best view with the ceiling with the confetti lights. Very beautiful. Stairs up to Deck 7. We'll continue down this corridor for some more of the fun shops. Here you'll find the Hip Fish accessories on one side and the Hip Fish beauty and fragrance on the other. Another access to the midship elevators and stairs. And you've got your purse options just beyond that. We got some bathrooms, and we saw this stairway earlier with the beautiful chandelier. These stairs were definitely intended for photo opportunities first, as the beautiful Brandy will show you, and utility for getting up to the next deck second. Common on many Carnival ships, there's an art sculpture inspired by a drawing from one of the St. Jude's patients. This one here is a fish. I don't know if you can quite tell from the angle I got. Carnival should be proud with their sponsorship and promotion for St. Jude's. So this here is the Latitudes bar as we enter the Gateway zone. I was very impressed by this bar, and of course this area is just very beautiful. We'll take a full look at it in just a moment. We're going to cut across to check two other venues before we proceed any further. So this hallway is pretty unique. Let's have some fun. So these travel posters show everywhere that Carnival ships have serviced in the past or are currently servicing. Noglog has only been to 5 of the 12. We've got work to do. Leave in the comments, how many of the 12 sites have you been to? Let's say who's got the most. Has anybody been to them all? So before we check out the Latitudes bar, let's go check out two things. We've got the Carnival restaurant, the other main dining room. We'll take a tour through that on our way back out of here. But let's check out more of the Gateway. So what you're looking at are dioramas celebrating each of the decades that Carnival has existed. Of course, the ship is called the Carnival Celebration. So this is a homage to all of the history of Carnival Cruise Line. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of the portholes. I want you to enjoy each of the dioramas yourself in full detail when you're on the Celebration. I'll spend a little bit longer on this last one, celebrating what's happening today and in the future for Carnival, because for shameless promotion, we'll be on a few of these ships. We have plans to be on the Carnival Jubilee when it comes to Galveston, our home port here in Texas. Also, we'll be on the Carnival Luminosa heading to Alaska in June of next year as well. So please do hit that subscribe button if you're not already a Nog Vlog family member. You're always invited to come take a trip with us. Right outside here, you've got another sail and sign kiosk, another ATM, and let's go into the Golden Jubilee. This bar is really a culmination of what this ship is all about, celebrating 50 years of Carnival fun ships. This doorway that we're walking through is actually reinstalled from the old Carnival, which was Carnival's second ship built back in 1975. You've got a border of blueprint diagrams of old ships. These tables here are all from the Carnival Fantasy. They all contain Al Hirschfield character drawings on them. And in each one, if you take a look, the word Nina is written. That's his daughter. He finds a way to inscribe it into all of his drawings. It's a fun way to pass the time when you're getting a cocktail here. They do rotate some of the entertainment, some of the musicians, solo guitarists, pianos, violinists, all playing here in the evenings. In the back, you've got two beautiful mirror etchings of the Carnival Fantasy and Carnival Fascination, no longer in service. This statue of Carnival founder Ted Arison is from the Carnival Sensation. And you can see the casino up on deck 7 that we saw just a little bit earlier. This awesome scaled down model of the Carnival Celebration is for your viewing pleasure here in the Gateway. And down on the floor, you've got brass coins representing every single Carnival ship in the fleet's history. So you can go around and find all the ones that you've maybe sailed on, ones you'd still need to sail on. And finally, the actual electric telegraph from the Carnival. And it's working. You can stop and take photo ops, play around with it. Really cool for guests to enjoy. So let's take a peek inside the Carnival restaurant. This is the smaller restaurant. It's only on deck 7. This is going to be for your set time dining of 6 p.m. or 8:15. They host tea time in here. They host Dr. Seuss breakfast in here. You can see it goes all the way to the back, but again, it's only on this level. Now that we're done with this area, let's head back to the Latitudes bar. Now, when we first saw the menu for the Latitudes bar, we weren't all that excited, but it ended up being one of our favorite stops for a drink. Plenty of seating if you're not at the actual bar. They play live music here in this small stage. If you like drinks with flair, definitely order you a Sakura and make a wish. So one of the brilliant features of the Gateway are these LED windows that change depending on what port you're in, what events are going on. They actually have themed productions with sound and music that go along. If you're nearby, grab a cocktail, give those a view. Just past that is Emerald's Bistro 1397, named after the Carnival Celebration's hull number. This is an additional cost restaurant. You order at the counter, grab a seat, and they'll bring it out to you. Offers Creole cuisine and other international dishes, and the menu can only be found on this ship. Continue on, you have this very neat interactive screen. Past ship classes typically only had a screen that showed where your ship was en route to the destination, maybe the speed of the ship, the wind direction, etc., etc. This here actually shows every ship in the Carnival fleet, where it's currently at, all the details about that ship. You could bounce around from ship to ship, but that's not it. You can also identify where all the crew is from that works for Carnival. You can see a little bit about those countries. You can see about the countries that Carnival visits for destinations. You can spend a ton of time on this map. Really fun feature as you're walking through the gateway here on deck 6. So as we turn around, you'll see that spiral staircase in the aft of the ship. These flags are out for the Festival of Nations event going on today. Normally they're not here. This is the one that goes up to deck 7 and 8. Across the way is Carnival Kitchen. Here's where you can have a custom culinary class with a professional chef. Takes about 2 hours. I think it costs $35 a person. These sell out fast, so check your event planner on carnival.com to make sure you can reserve one prior to your cruise. You do get to enjoy your food right after as well. As we come to the back of the ship, we've got the Festival Restaurant Deck 6 version. Real quick, a peek at the stairs and elevators for Deck 6 aft. We've got restrooms right outside, just like above. A posted menu of tonight's cuisine in case you don't have your phone on you. I mentioned these stairs earlier just in case you came to the wrong level for your reservation. The hostess can always help you out there. Reminder, this is where you will have your time dining. We never actually ate down at this level. Our group of 3 always were assigned to a table on deck 7. I assume they keep that consistent throughout the trip for your party. So the only thing below us on deck 5 is the spa in the forward section of the ship. Unless you have a spa stateroom down on deck 5, the main entrance that everyone will probably use is here on deck 6. So we'll follow that down and start our tour of the Cloud9 Spa. The first thing you encounter down the stairs or through the elevator is the beauty salon and barber shop. Then you're going to have a long hallway of treatment rooms, but the first thing you'll encounter is the relaxation lounge. We'll take a quick peek in here. You have men and women's locker rooms here to your left. We're going to follow the signs to the thermal suite, give it a tour, and check out all of its amenities. Of course, access to the thermal suite is for those passengers in a spa cabin, or you can purchase a weekly pass. The first thing you encounter is a tropical rain shower. It's very relaxing. It'll help rinse you off in case you use the heated hydrotherapy pool down below. Surrounding the pool are the heated beds to help with your joint pain. A little further down, you'll see the Himalayan salt sauna. Across from that are a pair of showers that give you the option for the tropical rain shower or a gentle mist. At the end of the hall is an aroma steam room. This steam room wasn't turned on, but it did smell amazing in there. Next door to that is a standard steam room, definitely turned on. There's a back exit from the thermal suites to a hallway that leads to the complimentary sauna and locker rooms. You don't need a spa pass to access these features. You can just head down and use these at your leisure. It's unique that the fitness center is so far away from the locker rooms, but if you have any questions about any of the facilities, don't hesitate to ask one of the spa staff. We'll take a peek inside one of the treatment rooms here, and then try not to get lost trying to find our way back out. The rest of Deck 5 is spa staterooms and standard staterooms, so we'll head down to Deck 4, which is mostly staterooms as well, but you'll be heading down here a lot if you're dropping off your kids at Camp Ocean. You'll use the midship elevator and stairs to get down to Deck 4 and enter Camp Ocean. Now, this will be the kids club for ages 0 all the way up to 11. The turtles 0 to 1 obviously will have proper care. You'll have penguins for ages 2 to 5, stingrays for ages 6 to 8, that's where our daughter Charlie hangs out, and sharks for ages 9 to 11. Only kids are allowed in Camp Ocean except on embarkation day, so if you ever want to see inside, ask for a quick tour. Here you can see there's tons and tons of things to keep the kiddos entertained all throughout the trip. This ship's Camp Ocean has an exclusive partnership with the Kennedy Space Center for some space exploration, learning materials, and activities. Just like the clubs for the teenagers at the top of the ship, this one has plenty of gaming stations too. Just outside of Camp Ocean is the Dr. Seuss Bookville. Here you can come and see the full collection of Dr. Seuss books. Some that you probably never even heard of are in here for you or your child to read. The only other thing on Deck 4 is the Family Harbor Lounge. Now, you have to be staying in a Family Harbor stateroom to access this lounge. But this lounge allows for families to have a close place nearby with snacks, games, entertainment, all close by to your stateroom. Not on the Carnival maps is Deck 0. This is the gangway to your ports that you'll enter and exit on port days. This here is the midship elevators and stairwell. Also located here is the medical center. If you do need to visit the medical center, you would come down here. So that concludes our ship tour. I hope you learned a lot. If you did, please smash that like button. That helps our channel out. We greatly appreciate it. Leave us a comment. Let us know when you're sailing on the Carnival Celebration. Let us know if you have any questions. We're happy to answer them. And last, be sure to subscribe to the Nog Vlog and come take a trip with us.